away we go with the rerun of race 20, and it looks a much better start for Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. Great to see that Tim Bennett's out there again, so obviously no serious damage done to machinery or driver or passenger. That's excellent to see. Remember that when the race was stopped, there was a great scrap going on between Tim Bennett and Roger Measer. But this time you can see that we've got another outfit in between them, and that is the outfit of Rob Wilson and the passenger Tony Miles. You can see it's all starting to happen on that bottom bend, but Roger Measer is well clear of it this time. Colin Hutton and Tony Baseby have now moved through into third place, but Rob Wilson and Tony Miles still up there in second. Into the last lap we go of race 20, and it is Roger Measer and Shane Lapham leading from Rob Wilson in second place, Colin Hutton in third, Tim Bennett in fourth, Rick Colvin in fifth place at the moment. Well, after that tremendous scrap with Tim Bennett, I'm sure Roger Measer will be pleased with this result as he comes round off that top bend. He knew he had to score well in this one. He missed out with his point scoring in the first ride. He takes the checkered flag. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles, they had a second first time out. They've equalled it with a second this time, so they're scoring consistently well. We watch to see how that all works out at the end of the day. Win for outfit number 51, Roger Measer and Shane Lapham. In second place, number 24, Rob Wilson and passenger Tony Miles. In third place, number 4, that's Colin Hutton and Tony Baseby. In third place, number 4, I've already given you, have 9. In fourth place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In fifth place, number 112, no sixth finisher there. The speed, 53.08. The winning time, 126.67. 126.67, 53.08, that equates to. Good one this time. Tony Atkin has gone with him. These two both having good days on their 350s and not doing quite so well on the 500s. We watch to see what happens this time out. Well, Mark Seabright getting away from Tony Atkins. Atkins, of course, did score much better in the 500. First time out, whereas Mark Seabright was bang in the lead place. This time he looks much more fired up as he goes down the back straight. Atkins goes for the outside into the pit bend, almost together as you can see. Atkins forced to go for the wide line. Mark Seabright tries to hold it tight. A brilliant ride from him. Atkins still in third place as you watch those front two. Atkins has now started turning the power on as he goes down the back straight, wanting to collect some much better points this time. As he goes round the pit bend into the last lap flag this time as he comes towards us. Cawtheray is the rider in fourth. He's trying to get under pressure. Number 14 is Ian Humphries back in fifth place, but there's some big gaps there. Really the action is right at the front where Tony Atkins is trying to fend off the challenge from Mark Seabright. And he completes his race with a win. Mark Seabright content with second place, Vince Kinchin in third, and James Cawtheray in fourth. Tony Atkin. In second, number 167, Mark Seabright. Third place, number 844, Vince Kinchin. Fourth place, number 169, James Cawtheray. Fifth place, number 14, Ian Humphries. Sixth place, 187. And seventh place, 96. The speed, 55.60. That time, 133.81. 133.81, 55.60, the equivalent speed. Quickly looking through, Leigh Lanham, of course, had his second first time out. He goes in this one. Trevor Banks had a win, you'll remember. He goes in this one. Steve Bishop, number 11, had a second. So it's an interesting lineup, this one. Chris Tritton has been going very well this afternoon. He had a third place first time out. Start. Lanham is right after him though as they go in that first bend. Steve Bishop is right up there as well, as I can see. I think that's Chris Tritton we've lost on that first bend. Peter Lloyd had a very close moment there as well, but he's recovered from it and he's still going. But Trevor Banks is out in front. Peter Lloyd in fifth. So Trevor Banks for the win first. Worked very, very hard for that win. This time he wants to make it a bit easier for himself. He's got to the front very quickly indeed as he comes round off that pit bend, looks over his shoulder, expecting somebody to take to him. That is there. Lanham, Steve Bishop, Alan Harmer holding fourth place. Lloyd starts to go around the outside of him. A good scrap that for that fourth place. Those two riders together as they go down the back straight for that fourth place. It's starting to get a bit spread out for the 1, 2, 3, but Trevor Banks is very good form this afternoon. Leigh Lanham still there in second. Peter Lloyd has got the battle of this battle. And I think we're now pulling that front wheel in the air occasionally as a checker flag's being made ready for him. This is the second ride in the 500cc class, and it's the crosses the line. One wheel on off. Leigh Lanham in second. Steve Bishop Peter Lloyd in fourth, and Alan Harmer in fifth. Second place, number 13. That's of course Leigh Lanham. In third place, number 11, Steve Bishop. In fourth place, number 4. In fifth place, number 121. In sixth place, number 12. Seventh place, number 174. Eighth place, number 3. Ninth place, number 17. No other finishes there. The speed equates to 57.17. The time, 131.24. 131.24. Now, you look at race 26 and you think, hang on, somebody's missing. Colin Earl had a win first time out. He's not featured in the programme for a second leg ride. That's because Keith Fox was put in there. It should be 172 Colin Earl going in this one. So, clash of two of them that had first leg rides. Paul Harry and Colin Earl. They're the ones perhaps to look for. But there's a few other spoilers in there as well. Tommy Palmer takes the place of Will James. He had a third first time out. This is the scrap we expected to see. Colin Earl has got to the front. Paul Harry goes round the outside. Tommy Palmer's up there as well. But it's Colin Earl and Paul Harry that have got away. Paul Harry then just breaking into that pit bend, as you can see. He's got to the front, but Colin Earl is right there with him. Well, Paul Harry holds the front. Tommy Palmer got to do to try and keep on with these two guys. They really are flying this afternoon, and Colin Earl looks over his shoulder and thinks, well, have I really got to keep up with this flying Paul Hurry during the heats? Maybe I'll have a go at him in the final, because Paul Hurry looks to be in a little bit of a world of his own. And as I say that, you can see that we lost a rider on that top bend. The clerk of the course deciding he was in a position that he didn't like, in an unsafe position, so he's brought the race. So away we go then with the rerun of race 22. Much better start this time. Well, as we thought we would see Colin Earl up there, he's indeed got there as well. Oh, we lost one rider, and that was absolutely incredible. Those of you that were watching the rider that stepped off on the inside, but I hadn't seen that we'd lost another rider on the entrance to the bend, so the clerk of the course decided to call it to a halt, because I believe that does look like Mike Trevitt's machinery is laid in the middle of the circuit, and that would have been exactly where the riders would be coming. Well, we move to the third leg rides, and of course these are the last qualifying rides, the third legs. And of course the riders that are doing well at the moment, Richard Smith and Carl Wilkes, they're on 18 points apiece. John Dormer's on 16 points. And we look to see who it is that who goes in this first one. Well, Richard Smith goes number 33. Carl Wilkes goes as well, 248. They're the 2 point scoring leaders at the moment. But nobody in this class has actually gone. Carl Wilkes, John Dormer, they're the ones that start off very, very quickly and go into that first bend. Jason Stott has gone around the outside of both of them though and got into the front. Well, Jason Stott, of course, missed his first ride. He's on 10 points at the moment, so a good ride here would ensure us of seeing Jason Stott in the final. And I'm sure he's already worked that out as well as he comes around off that. Jason Stott there in second, John Dormer in third, Richard Smith in fourth. Well, I said it was a good lineup of 250s here this afternoon, and this is just a heat. You can see exactly what I mean. It promises to be a great 250 final this afternoon. Carl Wilkes leading from John Dormer in second. Jason Stott in third, Richard Smith in fourth. Good rides here this afternoon. John Dormer having to work hard for his points. As he goes round that top bend, he does look a very controlled rider as he goes down that back straight. This is where John Dormer perhaps is a little bit quicker. Dives on the inside of Carl Wilkes going into the pit bend, but Carl is very, very quick coming off that pit bend. So that's the difference between the two. What's the difference going to make when it comes to the line? Because it's been very, very close every time they've come past us in this race. Jason Stott's still not away from those two either. He's still in on the action. Watch to see if the same thing happens again. Remember what John Dormer did last time? Nobody's going to do it differently. He's gone round the outside. That means he'll try and ride a very, very fast outside line. When he indeed he does. John Dormer takes it. Carl Wilkes in second. Jason Stott in third. Richard Smith in fourth. So the 250 competition panning out to promise us an excellent final at the end of the day. So reads as a win for number 76, John Dormer. In second place, number 248, Carl Wilkes. In third place, number 94, Jason Stott. Fourth place, number 33, Richard Smith. Fifth place, number 300. Sixth place, 49. Seventh place, 118. Eighth place, 20. Ninth place, 181. No 10th finisher there. The speed, 52.91. 52.91. The winning time, 138.58. 138.58. With race 28, and as we go into that top bend, it's Graham Thomas that's got to the front. Dean Camillo goes after him though as he gets down the back straight. These two have met each other a few times today, haven't they? Oh, Graham Thomas looks to have the better of it at the moment, but he's forcing Dean Camillo to go wide. He's saying, well, if you want to get round, you're going to go the long way round, and Dean Camillo does just fine. He's struggling up there in third place. Siren holding fourth at the moment, and Graham Thomas has dropped it again on that top bend. You remember earlier on in the day he dropped it and he was very quickly up. This time he's not quite so quickly up, but he has got up. And it doesn't look as if he's been able to get machinery going. That's unfortunate for Graham Thomas. I can only hope that he's got enough points for the two rides to qualify for the final, but that's got to wait and see. At the moment though, Team Cameo will welcome the extra points because he's right away from the rest of the field, looks over his shoulder, knows that he's got comfort, and indeed goes into that pit bend, into the last lap as he comes past us this time. He knows he's going to sort of ride, a comfortable ride, and he should get him a place in the final. Ludwig could well make it up to the final now. He's had some good consistent rides this afternoon. Oh, down the back straight they go for the last time. This, of course, race 28 in your programme. The last of the qualifying rides for the 250s. And it's going to be a win for rider number 24, Team Cameo. Number 124, Keith Strudwick. Followed home by number 6, Steve Barrett. The 250 qualifying rides, leg 3 for them, a win for number 44, Team Cameo. In second place, number 124, that's Keith Strudwick. Third place, number 62, Steve Siret. Fourth place, number 180. Fifth place, number 71. Sixth place, number 262. Sixth place, number, sorry, I've already given you that 262, haven't I? Seventh place, number 59. No other finishes there. The winning speed, 52.95. An equivalent time of 138.50. 138.50, the speed, 52.95. We now turn our attention back to the 500cc solo second leg. This, of course, the rerun of race 26. So, where am I going about the 500 class, of course? Paul Hurry and Colin Earl. Paul Hurry that's made a great start once again. Oh, as they go round that first bend, Paul Hurry sits up, looks totally in control as he goes down that back straight. Oh, it's Colin Earl that's in second place, but Paul Hurry has got away from him. Comes down one. Colin Earl, in fact, is going to be under Tommy Palmer. Two almost together as they went into that bend, but Colin seems to have made a much better job of that bend because he's away from Tommy Palmer as they go down the back straight. Good to see that Colin Earl has travelled all the way down here. He, of course, is one of our riders. So much more of him from that part of the country. Good to see that some of these riders are prepared. You've seen a lot of the 250 riders. Graham Thomas, Carl Wilkes, Jason Stott, etc. have all travelled all from the Shropshire area. Some very strong competition. It does, of course, improve the racing, but look what we've got going on for this. Tommy Palmer trying everything he possibly can, and Colin Earl completely lost it in the middle of that bend. Oh, I'm glad to see that Colin is looking to be picking himself up. Already he's up on the machine and away he goes. He's a very determined rider, Colin. And Paul Hurry takes the win. Tommy Palmer gets the second. So we'll count the riders as they come round. Third place goes to 971 Dave North. And Colin Earl finishing in. Well, I was doing the counting, and I think as he went across the line, Colin Earl was doing the counting. I don't think he's lost too much by that. A win, as it always looked to be, for number 86, Paul Hurry. In second place, number 21, so perhaps he's getting faster as the day goes on, Tommy Palmer. In third place, number 971, Dave Norton. In fourth place, number 172, yes, it was confirmed as fourth, Colin Earl. In fifth place, number 9, and sixth place, number 22. Seventh place, number 20. The speed, 56.85. The time, 131.75. as he went past me, giving Luke Pachol a bit of a hard run, but it is Luke that's got to that first corner. Luke Pachol, the only rider in this class that's on maximum points, 2 rides, 2 wins. But Neal Cuff is the rider that goes after him in second place. It's Neal Owen and Andrew Evans that are going around the outside. On that pit bend, it's paid off because he gets into second place. Well, as you watch him go into that top end, Neal Owen and Andrew Evans working very, very hard on that sidecar outfit as they go back down that back straight. I remember the difference in power. You got 1000cc at the front in the hands of Luke Pachol. You got 560cc in the hands of Neal Cuff. Well, fitting, of course, that you should see that Luke Pachol and Julian Browning are in this sort of form at the moment. They deservedly won that British Championships, and as they come round off that pit bend into the last lap, they look every bit today as they do on today. A little bit. Oh, time even for Luke to look over his shoulder as he goes down that back straight. He knew perhaps he was out with the Welshman this time, but there's no challenge from him. He's there in second place. Into the checkered flag they go. They take their third win. Neal Owen and Andrew Evans finish and Neal Owen Cuff finish in the points to be completed. 8:08 Luke Pachol, a win for them once again. 3 wins from 3 rides. In second place, number 4, Neal Owen and Andrew Evans. In third place, number 126, Neal Cuff and Martin Cuff. Fourth place, number 151, Graham Hilton. In fifth place, number 217. Speed 48.31, the time 147.97. 147.97.
Are you going with Jack next weekend?
But they're underway as they go into that first corner. I think that confirms that early stop from Bill Penfold was rather more serious mechanical damage, so we've not seen Bill come out for his second and third ride. That, of course, is a bit disappointing, but leading at the moment is number 23, Billy Penfold and Carl Bell as they come round off that pit bend. Duncan Fish in second place. John Arnott fighting it for that second place, sitting in third at the moment. So down the back straight goes Billy Penfold as he drives into that pit bend, making this final, because I think this win will confirm that he'll get into that final. John Arnott, is he going to have a go for that second place? He's looking to as he goes down that back straight, tries to go through on the inside. Indeed, John Arnott gets there. Oh, John Arnott and Tony Doyle then fighting their way into second place. Looks as if they might even close that gap on first. Well, already he's got away from Duncan Fish, and he has definitely closed that gap on Billy Penfold. I think he's asking an awful lot for him to try and close it completely in what, just half a lap, but he's certainly going to have a go. As you can see, he's closed right up into this last bend. Billy Penfold and Carl Bell, it is they come off that last bend, they'll go over it. Flag. John Arnott takes second place and Duncan Fish finishing in third. Only 3 in the field, but a win for number 23, Billy Penfold and Carl Bell. In second place, number 251, John Arnott and Tony Doyle. In third place, number 174, Duncan Fish and Clive White. No other finishers, as I say, but the speed, 46.98, the time, 151.03. 46.98, 151.03. 31, we move to the very interesting 350 class, and this the third qualifying leg for the 350 final as we look down at the list of riders for race 31. On maximum points so far, number 10 Tony Atkin and number 167 Mark Seabright. They both sit on 20 points at the moment. Number 175 Keith Fox on 14 points, number 3 Grasstrack on 14 points. They both go on the top point scorers really in this one, or is somebody else going to upset it? As we watch to see him go into that first bend, Jonathan Duke right up there, but it's Mark Seabright that's got to the front. Mitchell Godden's up there as well in third place, and it's Tony Atkin back in fourth and dropping back to fifth at the moment. So maximum points for the inside line on that fifth bend, and then he's done the same thing on this top bend. He in fact has got right through almost to second place by doing that. So a very, very good tactical move, as indeed he tries for that second place, but Mitchell Godden determined not to give it up. Seabright has got away. So he's very trying to move through on the inside. But indeed it is all eyes on Tony Atkin and Mitchell Godden at the moment. Mark Seabright really has got away from those two. And Mitchell having a brilliant ride here at the moment. Remember, he's on maximum points, he's been unbeaten. To go, and Mark Seabright looking to make it a maximum into the final. Well, we know he's a very quick 350 rider. And after winning down here at Tritton last week, he looks to be on the trail again this weekend. He takes the checker flag, the checker flag in front of him. He finishes with a third place. A win, and his third win from 3 rides, number 167, Mark Seabright. In second place, number 10, Tony Atkin. In third place, number 9, Mitchell Godden. In fourth place, number 419, Dave Perry. In fifth place, number 26, Mark Giles. In sixth place, number 25, Jonathan Duke. In seventh place, number 261. Eighth place, number 37. Ninth place, number 331. The speed, 54.01. And the time, 136.57. He's right up there amongst the points, looking to have a good ride this time. Gets away from the rest of the field as he goes into the first bend. Roy Sizemore's up there as well. It looks like Dave Wright coming through on the inside. Oh, Chris Tritton is on equal points to Keith Potts. He's back in fifth place at the moment, but as we look to the front, it is Keith Potts that's gone away. Has now got round the outside. Chris Tritton to kind of come through on the inside has got himself up into fourth place. So he's finding his way through, but Keith Potts has got away. And he knows that this will put him right back up amongst the point scoring, that will put him in a good place in that final. Quite comfy from Roy Sizemore. Dave Wright having a good third place. Again, good point scoring from Dave Wright. He was on 12 points as he went into this last ride, so he knew just a reasonable score in this last heat would give him a place in the final. As we go into the last lap, this is the world again. A very established 350cc rider from this part of the world. As he goes down that back straight, head down, looks to be very, very comfortable indeed. It'll be the checkered flag for him this time as he comes round. Off that pit bend for the last time and into the checkered flag. Oh, number 1. First side third. And it is indeed number 77, John Underwood, that just squeezes fourth in front of Chris Tritton. The result, it was a win for number 175, Keith Potts. In second place, number 231, Roy Sizemore. In third place, number 38, Dave Wright. In fourth place, number 77, John Underwood. In fifth place, number 3, Chris Tritton. Sixth place, number 58, and there were no other finishers. The speed, 53.73. The time, 137.08. 137.08. And away we go with race 33, as we know that number 17, Dave Steer, is scoring well this afternoon. He's on 12 points at the moment from 2 rides. As he goes into that first corner, he's third place. As you can see, Rob Wilson has made the best of it. But Big Dave is going through well as well. Those 3 outfits away at the moment as it's Rob Wilson still at the front, but he fights with his outfit in the middle of that bend. Mick Cave saw the advantage and goes after it. It's Mick Cave and Mick Stace in second place, desperately trying to push hard on Rob Wilson. Number 24, of course, in your programme, and a passenger, Tony Miles. He's gone wide once again, and I think the sense that Rob Wilson is going wide coming out of the bend. You can see again he's dived through on the inside. He knew that Rob was going to go wide in the middle of that bend, and Mick Cave has taken full advantage of it. As he goes into the top bend, Mick Cave and Mick Stace, with a good ride here, will know they're in the final as they come round off that top bend. They're pushing hard as they come to the front, and Dave Steer now having a challenge. Well, this certainly is going to make this point scoring in the sidecar competition very interesting indeed, because all these outfits are on similar points. As we go down the back straight, Mick Cave and Mick Stace and Dave Steer has spun it completely on the exit of that top bend. Oh, he looked before he disappeared behind the tanker to be okay to me. I can't see yet as if he's still moving. But it's Mick Cave that comes to the finishing line. Mick Cave and Mick Stace finish. Rob Wilson and Tony Miles get second. They're all giving them plenty of encouragement on that top bend, because these points could make a lot of difference. With this third place, I would tempt fate and say that there's possibilities Dave may still make the final. So it's an important result to them. A lot of difficulty in pushing that outfit. I can only assume that it's been a punch or something. We'll see when they get a bit closer to me, but that has not looked easy, and these are by far not the conditions to actually do an exercise like this. Dave, I think, using every ounce of energy he's got to get that outfit to the line. That finishing master's not going to move an inch, is he? Can't somebody walk into him or something? And Mr. O'Donnell proving to me that they are going to do everything by the rule book. They've got to actually get to that white line where that checkered flag is, and as you can see, that wheel, the back tyre has completely disintegrated. It's locking itself up, and the front spindle has crossed the line. The trials members amongst you out there will know exactly what I'm talking about. The front spindle has crossed the line, so they get credited with the result.
A little bit more weight there, isn't there?
The official result of race 33, then, a win for outfit number 5. I'm sure you'll very brave effort for Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. Very unfortunate to receive that puncher on the top bend. No other finishes there. The speed, 52.59. The winning time, 127.47. 127.47, 52.59 the equivalent speed. Poor old Andy Orchard looks absolutely shattered, doesn't he? But I thought it was hot in here. I don't really want to be wrapped up in leathers, and I've been advised by the clerk of the course that races up to the interval will in fact be concluded over 3 watering, because obviously the corners are now probably getting very slick indeed. What happens as the racing goes on, if you aren't aware, that on a hard surface like this, the type of tyres they use now, these compound tyres, they lose rubber, they make the corners very slick indeed. If you water them, it's like riding on ice. So a very wise decision by the clerk of the course in the interest of safety. But as we get underway with race 34, a chance to see in action one of the men on maximum points so far indeed is number 13, John Halsey. And I will get his passenger right this time, because I think I put the wrong passenger on John Halsey all afternoon. And at the moment we've got a great scrap on with Tim Bennett leading as they go down that back straight. Well, number 13, John Halsey, and Jason Glennie in the second place at the moment. But you can see there's three outfits come together on that bottom corner. Ivan Matthews desperately trying to find his way through. It means that Tim Bennett, who's having some great rides this afternoon, and Steve Hargraves stay out in front, because John Halsey and Ivan Matthews are really having a battle in that second place. Neither of them wants to give an inch. John Halsey certainly doesn't want to give up that second place. He's on maximum points from 2 rides and 2 wins. At this moment in time, he goes wide once again. He's riding a much wider line. And we've got the finishing flag already. They cut it down to 3, didn't they? Caught me out already, you can see. Well, a win for Tim Bennett and Steve Hargraves. An excellent ride from them. It means that John Halsey does get that second place, and Ivan Matthews back in third. A very good win for number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargraves. In second place, and what a fierce battle this was for his second place, outfit number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. In third place, number 15, Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones. Fourth place, number 25, that's Rob Wilson Jr. and Colin Hill. And fifth place, number 32. No speed, of course, we cut it down to 3 laps, but the time 1:03.07. 1:03.07. All away we go with race 35, and I've been trying to do some very unofficial adding up of these points, and the sidecar competition is getting very interesting indeed. Nobody's been absolutely running away with it, but also a lot of the top riders have been mixing it about with a good ride and a bad ride, so it's going to make the qualifying for that final very interesting indeed. And as we look over that far side, you can see this one starting to spread out. Steve Heath up there in second place, but with the early lead coming round off that top bend. I just want to confirm that it's outfit number 55, Jerry Adams and Paul Baisby. Well, they're scoring on 9 points at the moment, so this could make the point scoring very interesting indeed. Indeed, I'll stop doing my unofficial points because I'm trying to add it up to give you some sort of guidance on what's happening here. But Jerry Adams takes a very good win in front of Steve Heath and Rick Colvin. Well, that means that Jerry Adams, for his 9 points, takes a win and gets a plus 7 points, which means that takes him on to 16 points. Number 55, that's Jerry Adams and passenger Paul Baisby. In second place, number 191, Steve Heath and Barry Knight. In third place, number 112, Rick Colvin and Steve Smith. In fourth place, number 101, Gavin Newlin and Will Jones. No other finishes there. The speed, 53.17, a time of 1:03.44. And would you believe it, our lap scorer has quickly done all the calculations and worked out the speed for race 34 as well. That equates to 53.48. Fine race to go in race 36, the right-hand sidecar, third leg. Very interested indeed to see what happens in this one, because the points have got very, very tight, and there's one man out there who knows he's got to go well, and that indeed is outfit number 51, Roger Mesa and Shane Lapham. He's made a brilliant start, but he's out there with Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. They in fact lead the point scoring charts with John Halsey. But in the interest of safety, we've had an outfit go into the wards, I believe, on this bottom bend. So the clerk of the course, who's much closer to it, has brought the race to a halt. We go with the rerun of race 36, and you can see that we've got the action once again because Roger Meester has got to the front. Gary Jackson is right there on his back wheel though. Peter Adams is up there tight on the inside, trying to get through on the inside of Gary Jackson. But Gary Jackson right on Roger Meeser's back wheel. So Roger Meeser going to have to pull on all his experience now, because he knows that a win is exactly what he needed, or indeed the least of what he needed. He wants to keep Gary Jackson behind him, because you'll remember back to that first ride where he scored very, very badly indeed. And Gary Jackson, holding second place, is on comfortable points now, because he was ahead on the 14 points coming into this last ride. 2 rides and 2 wins, so it's going to make a very interesting final indeed. That Gary Jackson, going so well with 2 rides and 2 wins, now follows Roger Meeser in second place. He knows that that second place is enough points to get him into that final. And Roger Meeser going very, very close to the boards as he comes by us. That, of course, is the checkered flag. Only 3 laps, of course, in these last few rides before the interval. And Roger Meeser takes the win that he needed to get him into the final. Gary Jackson finishing in second. 51, Roger Meeser and Shane Lapham. In second place, number 23, Gary Jackson and passenger Kevin Williams. Third place goes to number 7, Peter Adams and Matt Sleep. No other finishes there in that race. The speed equated to 53.73. The time 1:02.77. 1:02.77. Well, as the point scorers work out who it is. Now we're going to try and find out who it is that makes the big final in the 500cc class. Well, as we look at the results so far, the 500cc second leg results, we had Trevor Banks, 2 rides, 2 wins, and this is third outing. He knows the after him, Alan Harmer is in third place. Well, the rest of the field fanning out behind them as the dust begins start to fly. And as we go into the last lap this time, as Trevor Banks comes round, he knows that he's now catching his own back. Comes last up, this there it goes by me. Alan Harmer moves through into that third place that he's been holding. The rest of the riders trying to close up on him, trying to make third place. Checkered flag at the ready then. Trevor Banks, 2 rides and 2 wins. He now makes it 3 rides and 3 wins. Alan Harmer hangs on to that third place in front of Ian Humphries. So good steady scoring. I wonder if that's enough to get him into that final. A win for Trevor Banks, of course. I'm sure you've all got number 2 in there in first place. 3 rides, 3 wins. In second place, number 11, Steve Bishop. In third place, number 121, Alan Harmer. In fourth place, number 14, Ian Humphries. Fifth place, number 214. Sixth place, number 9. Seventh place, 917. No other finishes there. The speed, 57.11. A time, 1:09.77. Of course, that's the shorter distance, and now speed is becoming a little bit more relevant. I've written that. Well, whatever I gave out, what it should be 7:971. At the moment, because he of course holds the fastest time of the day, and he's already got himself to the front, looking over his shoulder already as he goes round that first bend. As the dust starts to clear, you can see obviously the clerk of the course concerned about that part of the circuit. Line up in this race, Tony Atkins is up there in second place. Kinchin has been scoring well this afternoon. He's trying to get out for that third place, you can see. It looks like Colin Earl has got the better of him going into that bend, but Vince Kinchin comes back at him going down that back straight. Around this pit bend we go, and he is in a hurry to lose control of this circuit. said that speed is important. The fastest time of the day now equating to the speed because the distance has changed. Paul Hurry's speed in race 11, where we set the fastest time, was 57.83. So we'll watch to see what happens this time as he crosses the line. As you can see, he looks totally controlled today. Tony Atkin finishing in second. Third place, it was indeed Colin Earl, and Colin Earl doesn't look happy at all. It looks as if he has hit problems. I'm not even sure whether he did manage to hang on to that fourth place as he went across the line. Number 86, of course, that is Paul Hurry. In second place, number 10, Tony Atkin. In third place, number 844, Vince Kinchin. Fourth place, number 172, Colin Earl. He did hang on to it. In fifth place, number 4, Peter Lloyd. Sixth place, number 169. Seventh place, number 12. Eighth place, 174. No other finishers there. The speed equated to 56.88 and the time 110.06. 110.0. Race 39 in your programme. Seabright just made a good start, but Tommy Palmer's right there with him. Leigh Lanham is up there in third place at the moment. Tritton is holding fourth. As we look to see them come out of that first bend, it is Mark Seabright just got away. Tommy Palmer right on his shoulder though as he goes into this pit bend for the first time. Tommy Palmer going a long way round and hasn't he got faster as the day's gone on. Mark Seabright went a long way round on the pit bend, and Leigh Lanham coming up on the back wheel of Mark Seabright as well for that second place. Tritton, a good position for him up there in fourth place. He's got three very quick riders in front of him, and Tommy Palmer. Barley is, of course, the reigning 350 British champion. And he leads going what is now the last lap of race 39. He goes very, very wide. The right a little bit coming in the middle of that bend. But Mark Seabright has no answer to him at the moment as Tommy Palmer comes round off this pit bend towards the checkered flag this time. It's the win. Mark Seabright gets second, Leigh Lanham in third, Tritton in fourth. As the dust starts to clear, it is indeed number 187 Justin Shaw that finishes in fourth. One that I'm sure a lot of you have been waiting for, the one before the interval. A win for number 21, that of course is Tommy Palmer. In second place, number 167, Mark Seabright. In third place, number 13, Leigh Lanham. In fourth place, number 3, Tritton. In fifth place, number 187, Justin Shaw. Sixth place was 17. Seventh place, 22. Eighth place, 20. No 9th or 10th, the speed 56.28, the time 110.80, 110.80 the time, 56.28. That of course brings us to the interval. This runoff, we've got three outfits out there. You can see Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones looking very determined form as they fly into that first bend. They know first and second is where they want to be, because they want to be in that A final. Jerry Adams is up there in second place at the moment, and Dave Steer has got that puncher mended by the look of it. You can see that he's out there going as quick as he was earlier on today. As we go round that top bend, can see exactly what the battle's all about. That second and third place, Ivor Matthews and Peter Jones have got away. And remember, this is only over 3 laps, and Dave Steer trying to find a way through on the inside. Jerry Adams moves over. Dave Steer has got through, and it means a place in the A final if he stays where he is. But Jerry Adams, I'm sure, is going to have a go back again on this last bend as they go down that back straight. are indeed. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard catching up on Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones, and Jerry Adams throws it in as hard as he can into that last bend. But as the checkered flag goes, there completes our qualifying riders. Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones win the runoff. They get a place in the A final. Dave Steer and Andy Orchard pick up second place. That means they also qualify for the A final. Time was 1:03.40 and the equivalent speed was 53.20. We move into the first of our finals this afternoon. Remember, over 4 laps, this is the consolation final for the 500cc solo class. Must have only just missed out on points getting into that A final. Looks in determined mood to win this consolation final as he flies into that first bend. Obviously the conditions are going to play quite an important part. This first bend is going to be so important, and Lloyd puts it down. Well, some very good evasive action taken by the rider that was following Peter Lloyd. As you can see that the red flag has been put out as Tritton indeed was taking over the lead because all sorts of things were happening. I was watching that Darren Shand had come off in the middle of the circuit. I think I'm trying to make out who that rider was that laid it down very professionally because he saw Peter Lloyd go down in front of him. Up there again, you can see that Darren Shand has got it again this time as riders again have tried to avoid him. And I think we've lost another one of our riders, and Darren Shand literally just caught the back wheel. I could literally see that happening from where I was, but he was unfortunate enough to go into the path of other riders. Justin Shaw, I've got to say, did extremely well avoiding both those bikes that went in front of him. Wilson and Tony Miles obviously very disappointed they didn't make the A final, I'm sure. Outfit number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. Well, they've been getting faster as the afternoon's gone on. Number 191, Steve Heath and Barry Knight. And number 25, Rob Wilson Jr. and Colin Hill. That's the six that line up as we get underway. Look perhaps for Tim Bennett to have a good start. He has indeed. He's got a flying start as he goes down that first straight. He really is an excellent driver along that first straight. He makes brilliant starts all year long, and as he's done it once again as he goes wide, looking for Rob Wilson to come through. Jerry Adams has got up there, but it's Tim Bennett that leads from Jerry Adams in second place, and Tim Bennett has gone wide, but Tim Bennett has held on to it as he goes down that back straight. He's done just enough to stay in front. So Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves, they're holding first place at the moment from Jerry Adams, and passenger of course Paul Baisby. Coming through on the inside, or are they? They come through on the inside. Rob Wilson has seen that, he's trying to do the same thing. So Rob Wilson closing up on Tim Bennett. Tim Bennett's still there in second place, but Jerry Adams and Paul Baisby pull away and Tim Bennett pulls after them. Tim, obviously with new machinery this year, does look to be a much stronger competitor as he comes round off that bottom bend, going after Jerry Adams and holding a good line, but he's down a gap once again as Rob Wilson tries to come through, and Rob Wilson pushing hard on the inside. As we stay with those three, that second place is really where the most challenge is, because Rob Wilson and Tony Miles pushing very hard for that second place. Jerry Adams and Paul Baisby see the checkered flag now as they come, and they take it. Close to the line, but Tim Bennett takes it for second place. Rob Wilson gets third. Well, a great scrap there indeed, I think, and most of the credit I feel must go to Tim Bennett. That was a great start from him. Jerry Adams had to fight his way round him, and then he held off Rob Wilson. B final, a win for outfit number 55, Jerry Adams and Paul Baisby. In second place, number 12, Tim Bennett and Steve Hargreaves. In third place, number 24, Rob Wilson and Tony Miles. Fourth place, number 25, Rob Wilson Jr. and Colin Hill. In fifth place, number 7, Peter Adams and Matt Sleep. No sixth finisher there. The winning time 128.54, 128.54, 51.96, 51.96 the time. We go back to race 40. I can see Peter Lloyd on the line, and indeed as they get underway, we're watching to see who it is that's made the best of it. James Cawtheray up there as well. Chris Tritton is going after Peter Lloyd, so a very, very depleted field. But Peter Lloyd, after dropping it first time out, determined to actually make up the amends for that. Chris Tritton goes after him as they go down that back straight and into that pit bend. As they come round, you can see the dust starting to fly on that pit bend. As Peter Lloyd, Chris Tritton second, James Cawtheray in third, Justin Schoie in fourth. As we look to the far side, Peter Lloyd looks, shall we say, determined to actually make sure he wins this B final. I'm sure he's very, very disappointed he never got into the A final. There's just one consolation for that A final. Chris going after him, but Chris doesn't look too much of a threat at the moment. The gaps really have started to open up. And as Peter now starts to catch up on his own dust, I think, as he comes into this top bend. He will see the last lap flag into his last lap. One more lap to complete for race 40, the Figure. And it's great to see riders like Peter travelling down to the East Kent circuit. The sun has been particularly hot this afternoon, as I'm sure all of you have experienced out there, but has not helped the officials at all looking after the track. It's a win for Peter Lloyd. In second place, number 3, Chris Tritton. Third place, number 187, Justin Shaw. And coasting across the line, number 169, James Cawtheray. And fifth place finisher there, number 9, Graham Peter Lloyd. In second place, number 3, Chris Tritton. Third place, number 187, Justin Shaw. Fourth place, number 169, James Cawtheray. And fifth place, number 9, Graham Nivell. The winning time, 135.04. The speed, 55.88. And I've been informed by the clerk of the course that conditions going against them, the races have all been cut to 3 laps. The 250cc final, and this promises to be a good one. As we get underway, Jason Stott, who missed out on his first ride, has got himself into the final with 2 exceptional rides in rides 2 and 3, and he leads the final at the moment. John Dormer's got well and truly knotted in that bend, so he has to leave the race to the others. He's got a lot of catching up to do. As we watch them come into this pit bend, it looks to me like Carl Wilkes has got to the front. Jason Stott's up there as well. Dean Camio's up there in 4th, Graham Thomas in 5th, and John Dormer going around the outside in what is supposedly 5th place at the moment. But those 3 riders so close together, it's difficult to part them. As we see, looking at the front, it is indeed Carl Wilkes that leads, Jason Stott in 2nd, Richard Smith in 3rd. So Carl Wilkes fortunate enough not to get a top place in the 250 British Championships this year. Leads in front of Jason Stott and Richard Smith, and Richard Smith gets so close to Jason Stott as they come out of that top bend. But as they go into the pit bend, you can see that Carl Wilkes is now piling on the pressure. Comes around off that pit bend and sees the checkered flag. Carl Wilkes takes it. Jason Stott in 2nd, Richard Smith in 3rd, Dean Camio in 4th, John Dormer got 5th. and Graham Thomas finishing in 5th. It was fast, it was furious, we knew it was going to be a tough one, but coming out on top, he's travelled a long way to get here. We appreciate that a lot of the good 250 riders come from the Shropshire and Lancashire area, and it's great to see them in this part of the country. That's the sort of riders they are. Carl Wilkes, a fantastic ride from him. Final, and the way those races have been going this afternoon, you knew it was going to be a furious one, didn't you? Well, it turned out to be, but what a tremendous ride from Carl Wilkes. He wins the 250cc, a final number 248. In second place, number 94, Jason Stott. In third place, number 33, Richard Smith. Fourth place, number 44, Dean Camier. Fifth place, number 76, John Dormer. Sixth place, number 314, Graham Thomas. Seventh place, number 124, Keith Strudwick. Eighth place, number 62, Steve Sauret. And ninth place, number 49, John Pilcher. The speed was 52.23, the time 116.29. Left-hand sidecars final, and of course one man only doing Luke Pachol and Julian Browning. Dare I say one man? Of course sidecar racing is all about two, isn't it? Well, Luke Pachol and Julian Browning, and Neal Owen has spun it on that first bend. Good work from Neal Owen and Andrew Evans, and as keen as those two are, straight away they get the machinery going. They managed to keep it on square wheels, and indeed have got away from the field, but you can see who wants to change that. That's Neal Cuff. They're up in second place, and Luke Pachol has spun it as well on that far side. Oh, Luke Pachol spins it round, and he's realised that he's lost Julian Browning. So Julian has now got a sprint to do that possibly might equal Linford Christie, but I can't quite see why, but we have indeed got a red flag. I am intrigued to know why we had that red flag, but obviously the clerk of the course felt in the interest of safety the race should have been. Well, I said that very unsecurely because I'm looking at that start line. Unless he's hidden from my view, I can't see Luke on the start line. Very good start. Neal and Martin Cuff go into that first bench. John Arnott's gone after them in second. It is Neal Owen that's come round the outside of John Arnott and got up into second place, but it's Neal and Martin Cuff that have got away. They've got the Flying Welshman after them as they go into this pit bend, because it is Neal Owen that's going after them, and these two of course had an exceptionally good race. Well, we watch to see what happens, because Neal and Martin Cuff come round off that top bend, just still leading from Neal Owen and Andrew Evans. Well, John Arnott has lost that third place. As we watch them come round off that pit bend, Neal Cuff trying to ride a very, very careful race. You see, he knows that the rider has got the advantage on the bend, and Neal Cuff, I think, very sensibly is riding some very tight lines, because that's when Neal Owen has got the advantage. He does ride some very tight lines, and he's got power on all the time. Neal knows that if he holds it tight on the bends, he can get the advantage down the straights. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's forcing Neal Owen to go wide. Neal goes to the gap. He knows what he's got to do. But as they come to the line, it is Neal Cuff that's done it. And I think I've got to say, personal congratulations to the experienced driving of Neal and Martin Cuff. They knew that where they would lose their advantage is on the middle of the bends, where Neal Owen and Andrew Evans would have taken them. And indeed, credit to Neal and Martin Cuff, they take the left-hand final. Neal and Martin Cuff. In second place, number 4, Neal Owen and Andrew Evans. In third place, number 151, Graham Hilton and Bernie Goodwin. In fourth place, number 251, John Arnott and Tony Doyle. In fifth place, number 23, that's Billy Penfold and Carl Bell. No sixth place, the speed 47.87, the time 123.24. 123.24, the speed 47.87. So we move to what I'm sure is going to be a very interesting solo final. Race 44. This is the 350cc solo final. And who would you tip for this one? Well, we've got a lot of very good 350s in the country at the moment. You've got the collection of very good 350s in this part of the country, and I think we've got a great collection. Because as we get underway, who is it that's made it to the start? You can see that into that first bend is Tony Atkins. Oh, looking for Keith Potts, he's in second at the moment. Glenn Seabright, Mark Seabright I should say, I must put Glenn Seabright out there then. Mark Seabright was in third place as they went into that second bend, but it is at the moment Tony Atkins the second. Mark Seabright in third, but now challenging for that second place. Outside of Keith Potts, and you can see that Tony Atkins has gone wide. Chris Tritton leads the rest of the pack in fourth place, but the scrap is where we like it to be, right at the very front. Mark Seabright fighting for that second place. You can see the first place rider as well. Glenn Seabright going after both of them. And indeed, as you come round that top bend, Tony Atkins over his shoulder. Seabright trying to go through on the inside, and he does go through on the inside of Keith Potts. He locks it up in that pit bend. Tony Atkins just an inch away from him as he comes to the line. It's going to be good. Tony Atkins, that was absolutely incredible. Mark Seabright coming off that last bend, closing down on him towards the finishing line. And would you believe that Tony Atkins has been riding all day today with his left hand in plaster. He does the most cheeky thing and takes his hand off the handlebars and holds it in the air as he crosses the line. Absolutely incredible when he had other riders closing down on him. A brilliant rider, Tony Atkins. I know you enjoy making the effort. As you can see as he comes round, that's not a white t-shirt he's got on underneath. That is a full plaster cast that he's got on his wrist. How did that man survive today? Absolutely incredible. A brilliant ride from Mark Seabright. I've said it many times, I think we have got a tremendous class of 350 riders now. Tony Atkin. In second place, number 167, Mark Seabright. In third place, number 175, Keith Potts. Fourth place, number 3, Chris Tritton. Fifth place, number 231, Roy Sizemore. In sixth place, number 419, Dave Perry. In seventh place, number 77, John Underwood. In eighth place, number 38, Dave Wright. And ninth place, number 9, Mitchell Godden. The speed was 53.45, the time 114.55. They are number 5, Mick Cave and Mick Stace. Number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. Number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. 51, Roger Meesa, Shane Lapham. 15, Ivor Matthews, Peter Jones. And 17, Dave Steer, Andy Orchard. That's the lineup. It's a national lineup. I think nobody would disagree with me with that. It's an A final here at East Kent. And I think it's a tremendous lineup. We are in for a cracking A sidecar final. Already the revs are up and you can see that we've got away with the start of the sidecar final. Who's made the best of it? It's Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones that have made the best of the start. Roger Meester is there with them. Gary Jackson is right up with them. All of them, I think, sensibly taking it very cautious on that first bend. But Peter Jones and Ivan Matthews are in to get away. Roger Meester is up there in second place. I lose him in the dust again as we go into that pit bend. But Roger Meester still there in second. It's Ivan Matthews that's leading. Roger Meester looks to come through, and Roger Meester gets his wheel in front as he goes into that top bend. Has that meant he's overshot that top bend? Will we see Ivan Matthews coming through on the inside? Gary Jackson now getting in on the inside, as you can see. You can see from where you are. Roger Meester and Shane Lapham lead at the moment going down that back straight. Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones second to them at the moment. You've got Gary Jackson and in third place as they come towards the checkered flag. Indeed, I can see that we've got a red flag, but Roger Meester crosses the line. Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones, I think, finished there in second. Gary Jackson, I think, was there in third place as it went past me. John Halsey was very close, but I'm not sure when that red flag went up. I don't know what the situation is. I'm not going to make any guesses whatsoever. But I'm hearing from the clerk of the course on the radios that that result will in fact stand. I'll wait for confirmation from the lap scorers to give it to you officially. But certainly the 1-2 at the moment is Roger Meester and Shane Lapham winning the A final. Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones finishing in second. So as Roger Meester comes round by you, of course I can remind you that it was Rustling that won back in here, the man of Kent. But when we ask who it was that won the Summer Spectacular last year, you're not going to believe this result. Roger Meester and Shane Lapham, they won it last year, they've won it again this year. In second, Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones. That was how they were last year. So, 1-2, once again, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams, I've had now confirmed, will be credited with that third place. Outfit number 51, Roger Meester and Shane Lapham. In second place, outfit number 15, Ivan Matthews and Peter Jones. In third place, number 23, Gary Jackson and Kevin Williams. In fourth place, number 13, John Halsey and Jason Glennie. And in fifth place, number 17, Dave Steer and Andy Orchard. In sixth place, number 5, Mick Cave and Mick Stace. No speed and no time, obviously the race being stopped. We have just one more race to go. This, the 500cc solo. Race 46 in your programme. For, of course, your money. That's the question at this time of day. Difficult decision, I know, where a lot of you may sway your decisions, but this is a one-off final. This is what Grasstrack is all about. Well, we know one man that will be well fired up is Tony Atkins. He knows that he's got that 350. He wants to get the 500 as well. So away we go then. Look at the start. Well, I'd lost Paul Hurry in the middle of the field there as the rider went down on that first bend. Well, I can see Trevor Banks has got away and Tony Atkins moved through on the inside. I can't see a red flag as yet, so the riders will continue racing. But as they go round that pit bend, it's Trevor Banks that's leading. Colin in third, Vince Kinchin in fourth. It was indeed Mark Seabright we'd lost on that first bend. But as we look to the far side, we can see that Trevor Banks is leading. We've lost one more rider on that top end, I can see, as he laid it down going into the sidecar start. But as we go into the last lap, rolls it in the air. In second. Tony Atkins going well in third, Vince Kinchin in fourth. Steve Bishop is up in fifth. So as we see coming into this checkered flag, we've got Trevor Banks in the sort of form that we love to see. Trevor Banks rolls that wheel in the air. Trevor Banks second. Tony Atkins takes third, Vince Kinchin in fourth, Steve Bishop in fifth. Oh, indeed, a final that was full of problems and full of drama. But you can't take it away from a rider with the skill of Trevor Banks. It was won last year by Steve Schofield, but this year goes to Trevor Banks. In second place, number 172, Colin Earl. In third place, number 10, Tony Atkin. In fourth place, number 844, Vince Kinchin. Fifth place, number 11, Steve Bishop. Sixth place, our only other finisher there, number 13, Leigh Lanham. Well, as Trevor Banks comes round, I'm sure that's not the best of races that he wanted to have won, but he's won it. He's taken the Summer Spectacular for 1994. The speed, 56.51. The time, 110.51. 110.51. So, that indeed concludes the race programme for this afternoon.
Yeah, I'll soon get home.
I hope indeed you've enjoyed the racing. I'm sure that all of you appreciate that conditions have not been ideal for the sort of circuit that we have.
Stars doing this and they got home, haven't they? Thank you very much.